you'll see this is...
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
Okay, so this is the Cayman Haswing, however you say it. 55-pound thrust, 12-volt motor, trolling motor. It's got the remote control. And the other day, I was out on the water. This was not turning at all. It was rotating in terms of like the gearbox wanting to return and everything. Directional, I wasn't getting any propulsion at all. Power lights are all coming on. So remote was super responsive. Problem is, this guy was just like not going anywhere. Looks like I need to replace the motherboard. Came with the motherboard. This is kind of how it all came. So I need to open this bad boy up. I've done this once before, but it's been a while. But we're gonna see how this works out and kind of get things started. I'm gonna take the head off because then that way I can pull the shaft of this guy out. In order to disconnect right here, they have two little mini screws, so I'm gonna have to open up the heat shrink that's right here to disconnect these power lines. If you haven't seen these type of connectors, they're just, you know, slot connectors that have a screw acting as a pin that goes through them, and it's threaded. Once they're in there, it's kind of nice. And then once you add the shrink wrap around it, pretty solid connection. I should be able to slide the entire shaft out. So the first thing that I need to do is take this top part off. There's these 4 plastic caps that are right here. Those underneath of those plastic caps are some screws that I need to get out. So you kind of have to pry these back just a little bit. I'm trying to do this as careful as I can. I want to make sure to preserve these to help with the watertight seal. But that's the little cap that needs to come out of it. And as you can see, there's looks like they're Phillips head screws. So if this is the top, you follow the connection of the line. Right back here, there's a couple of screws that are kind of hidden underneath some rubber sealant right here that I'll need to get out because that is securing the line into the back of this guy. Now there is a rubber like gasket that's an actual pre-made, prefabricated one right here. That's separate from the stuff that I was just peeling out to get access to. What I'm doing is I'm getting my head down and I'm looking through underneath where I've kind of already got it opened up just to make sure I'm not pulling electronics or anything like that. I've got this open. There is a screw right here. I'm going to try to loosen that up because that board looks like it can kind of float. I don't want this connection to like pull up too hard because ultimately the power lines are going literally like down and through, and they're going down and underneath. I don't know that I need to pull them out, so I'm going to pull this first screw out right here. I got that screw loosened up. It's a long screw. I'm going to try to, I can't take it out. So that zip tie goes around all 3 of these connection points to kind of hold them down to the board, and then through the board itself and back up and around. I think all that was just to try to keep things neat and organized. here's the zip tie. Inside this guy, so the power line that's coming in from the outside comes in through here, comes back in through here, it's in the back, right here, comes in underneath the board. The negative line terminates right there, and then you got your power line to right there. So I need to take those two loose in order to loosen up the power. This whole thing kind of, sits like that. Once I pop those, the two screws that released the power line and the negative for that goes ultimately to the motor, that released them from these two brackets right here. I've got the disconnected wiring harnesses right here. I need to disconnect this wiring harness right there, which he just pulls apart. This is the O-ring that sits on the bottom side of this whole thing. And I just carefully kind of make sure, kind of have to untangle a little bit. Just be careful when this whole thing frees up. And now we can set that off to the side. All right, so here's the brains of the operation here now. This is the line that actually goes to power source that goes to your battery. So underneath here, if you kind of just gently pull these aside, you'll see this is the line, this is the connector that goes to your foot pedal if you have that and you're using that. This is your negative, that's your power. So I just need to unscrew. The power from that went to the motor head, and the negative that went from the motor head went to this terminal right here. The two power lines connect directly to one another, so that other red line came in and screwed right on top of that. So when I unscrewed that one, it loosened up this guy automatically. The negative, however, is a separate terminal. I need to unscrew him real quick. And now I should be able to gently work that guy out. And now I can pull that. So that's your line that goes to your battery. This connection line, these guys are not a part of the motherboard itself. They actually go underneath to another circuit board that's underneath this guy. There is a screw. It's right there. So I'm gonna take these guys out. Screw. If I'm not mistaken, at that point, this entire motherboard lifts right out. And there you go. So this is the brains of the operation. That's what I was looking to replace. There was one little thing that with the new one, with the new motherboard, it came with the two longer screws, and it came with this little gray strip that I was like, wait, what is this for? And if on the bottom of this thing, the original one sat in here just like this. When you pull this up and out, this little gray strip is actually right here. And so I think it just acts as another shield. So that little gray strip, I'm pulling that guy out and replacing it with the new one that was sent over.